cramped two-bay garage on the edge of town. Tools hang on pegboards. A single fluorescent light flickers over a workbench buried in receipts. Tom Bennett, 38, wipes grease from his hands with a rag that's seen better days. Under a canvas top in the corner sits a shape nobody touches. Tom's daughter, Emma Bennett, 11, backpack still on, drops her homework on the workbench. Emma Mrs. Patterson wants $20 for the field trip. Tom, I'll figure it out. Emma, that's what you said about the water bill. Tom manages a tired smile. He glances at the top in the corner, then looks away, like it hurts to look too long. A small kitchen. Bills fan out across the table like a losing hand of cards. Tom sits alone, a framed photo beside him, his late wife, Sarah, laughing on a porch. He rubs his eyes, picks up a bill, sets it back down. He looks at Sarah's photo. Tom, I know. I know. He turns off the light. A sleek Blacktown car pulls up outside the garage, out of place against the cracked pavement. A driver opens the rear door. Richard Crane, 50s, steps out in a suit that costs more than the garage monthly rent. Polished, unbothered, the kind of man who has never once worried about a water bill. His associate, Martin Cole, 60s, trails behind him with a tablet, scanning notes. Crane, this the place? Martin Cole Bennett's garage. Independent shop. Word is he inherited some inventory worth looking at. Crane word is a lot of things. Tom looks up from an oil change as Crane strolls in like he owns the block. Crane, Tom Bennett? Tom, that's me. Help you with something? Crane, Richard Crane. I collect automobiles. Rare ones. I hear you've got something under wraps back there. He nods toward the top. Tom, that's not for sale. Crane, everything's for sale, Mr. Bennett. Price just hasn't found the right number yet. Crane walks past Tom before he can object and pulls the top back. Underneath sits a vintage muscle car, dust-covered but unmistakably built with care once, a long time ago. Chrome dulled, paint faded, but the lines are still beautiful underneath the neglect. Crane circles it slowly, runs a finger along the hood, leaving a clean streak in the dust. Tom, that was my father's. Crane's sentiment doesn't show up on a bill of sale. He crouches, checks the undercarriage, straightens up, unimpressed.
Crane no documentation. No provenance.
Rusted frame, cracked dash, engines probably seized. This is scrap with a steering wheel. Martin Cole could still move the parts. Crane, I'll do you a favor. 5,000. Cash. Today. Tom's jaw tightens. Tom, it's not worthless. Crane, everything looks priceless to the man who can't afford to sell it for what it's actually worth. Silence. Emma stands in the doorway, having heard the whole thing. Tom notices her. Tom, 5,000 doesn't cover what that car means. It's not for sale, Mr. Crane. Crane studies him. Almost amused. Crane, suit yourself. He tosses a business card onto the workbench. Crane, when reality sets in, call me. The number won't go up. He walks out. Martin lingers, gives Tom an almost apologetic glance, then follows. Tom stares at the car. Emma walks up beside him. Emma, Dad. Is it really worthless? He pulls the top back over it, gentler this time. Tom, it's just nobody's looked at it the right way yet. The top is gone. Tom stands over the car with a flashlight clenched in his teeth, sleeves rolled up. Emma sits on a stool nearby, laptop open. Emma, it says here cars like this from that era had different production runs depending on the factory. Some had special order options. Tom, your grandfather never talked about where he got it. Just that it mattered to him. Tom, there's gotta be a record somewhere. Tom drains old fluid from the engine, hands black with grime. Emma photographs the interior on her phone, uploading images to online forums. Late at night, Tom sands down a rusted panel by lamplight, jaw set with focus. Emma prints out message board replies, taping them to the garage wall like clues on a corkboard. Tom collapses into a chair at 2 a.m., exhausted, car half strip around him. Dusty light through a small window. Boxes stacked to the ceiling. Tom climbs the ladder, flashlight in hand. He digs through an old trunk, photographs, a rosary, a folded flag. At the bottom, a thick leather folder, cracked with age. Tom, Dad. He flips through the pages. One page stops him cold. A factory stamp, a handwritten note in the margin. 1 of 1. Special build, do not duplicate. He sits back against a box, staring at it. Tom spreads the folder's contents across the workbench. He picks up his phone and dials. Tom. Diane. Yeah, I need a favor. I think I found something. Diane Mercer, 50s, sharp and composed, an appraiser from a well-known auction house, examines the build sheet through reading glasses. Emma watches, arms crossed, hopeful. Diane, where did you get this? Tom. My father's attic. It's been in the family since it was new. Diane runs her finger along the factory stamp, then checks it against a reference book pulled from her bag. Tom. So it's real. Diane, if we can verify the chassis number matches the sheet, this isn't just a car. It's automotive history sitting in your garage. Emma grins, practically vibrating. Emma told you it wasn't worthless. Diane closes the folder carefully, like it's made of glass. Diane, finish the restoration properly, and I'll get this in front of the right buyers. But do it right. This isn't a car you rush. Tom replaces cracked leather seats with period-correct upholstery, stitching carefully by hand. Emma polishes chrome trim until it gleams under the shop light. A specialist paints the body in the original factory color, matched exactly from an old paint chip in the folder. Diane visits, photographing every angle for the auction catalog. Late at night, Tom turns the key. The engine sputters, coughs, then roars to life. Emma cheers, jumping up and down. End montage. Diane sits across from Tom in a sleek office, catalog printouts spread before them. The car's photo, restored, gleaming, sits at the center. Diane, words already spreading. Collectors from 3 continents have called about this listing. Tom, what happens if nobody bids what it's worth? Diane, then we set a reserve. But Tom, I don't think that's going to be the problem. She slides a printed auction listing across the table. The estimate line reads, $2 million, $4 million. Tom, that's not what he offered me. Diane, who? Tom, Richard Crane. He said it was worthless. Offered $5,000. Diane, then he's about to have a very bad day at the auction. A grand building downtown, valet cars lined up outside, well-dressed collectors filing in. Tom and Emma arrive in Tom's old pickup truck, out of place among the luxury cars, until they see their own vehicle displayed proudly on a rotating platform in the front window. Emma presses her hand to the glass. Emma, that's ours. Across the lot, Crane steps out of his town car with Martin Cole beside him, checking his watch, unbothered as always. Crane, let's see what fantasy price they've dreamed up for scrap metal. Martin Cole, sir, you might want to look at the catalog first. Crane, I don't need a catalog to know a junkyard car when I see one. A packed room. Rows of collectors, paddles in hand, screens displaying live bids. The car sits center stage under bright lights, spotless, transformed. The auctioneer stands at the podium. Auctioneer Lot 42. A rare, single example factory experimental, fully documented, fully restored, verified chassis and factory build sheet included. We open the bidding at $1 million. A paddle rises instantly. Then another. Crane, seated near the front, watches with growing unease as numbers climb on the screen behind the auctioneer. Auctioneer 1.5. 2 million. Do I hear 2.5? Crane leans toward Martin. Martin Cole, sir, the provenance checks out. It's the real thing. Crane's expression hardens. He raises his paddle. Crane 3 million. A murmur ripples through the room. Tom, seated beside Emma near the back, watches Crane bid on the very car he once called worthless. Emma, isn't that the man who? Tom, yeah. That's him. Another paddle rises across the room. Crane's jaw tightens. He raises his paddle again, sharper this time. Crane 5 million. The room buzzes. Diane, standing near the stage, glances back at Tom with a small, satisfied smile. Auctioneer 5 million. Do I hear 5.5? A bidder on the phone line signals through an assistant. The number climbs. Auctioneer 6 million. 6.5. Crane grips his paddle, knuckles whitening. He raises it one more time. Crane 7 million. A pause. The room holds its breath. Then, from the back, a calm voice on a phone line relays a final number to an assistant near the stage. The assistant nods to the auctioneer. Auctioneer $8 million. Silence. Crane looks around, waiting for a counter that doesn't come. His paddle stays frozen in his hand. Auctioneer 8 million. Going once. Going twice. The gavel comes down. Auctioneer sold. $8 million. Applause fills the room. Emma grabs Tom's arm, eyes wide. Tom sits still, stunned, staring at the car under the lights. Crane sits motionless, staring straight ahead, the number still sinking in. Martin Cole, sir. Crane worthless. He stands, straightens his jacket, and walks out without another word. Tom and Emma stand outside, the noise of the crowd fading behind them. Diane joins them, holding a folder of paperwork. Diane, congratulations. Tom. That's one for the record books. Tom, I don't know what to say. Diane, say thank you to your father. He kept the right paperwork. She shakes his hand and heads back inside. Tom and Emma stand quietly, looking at the building, the reality still settling in. Emma, Dad, we are not going to have to worry about the water bill anymore, are we? Tom laughs, really laughs, for the first time in a long while. He puts his arm around her shoulders. They walk toward the old pickup truck together, the sun catching the windshield. Tom, your grandfather always said that car was special. Guess he was right. Emma, guess some things just take the right person to notice. Tom glances back at the auction house one last time, then opens the truck door for Emma. Tom, come on. Let's go home. They drive off down the street, leaving the world of million-dollar paddles behind them.